this isn't what I signed up for. This isn't why I had Janelle come in the family. This isn't why I had Christine come in the family. This isn't why you came in the family. Like, it was supposed to be a family, and now it's like,
Yeah.
what is it? With all this,
Yeah.
these fractures. Then I guess when I say that, it's obvious. Well, okay, maybe people just don't want to, so.
Hey everyone, it's Kody from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Tuesday, February 7th, 2023, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Listen, have you seen the news or the rumor that's been going around that Kody Brown is potentially seeking another wife and he was dumped by like a 20-year-old in South America? Have you seen this rumor circulating? Yeah? So I broke it down a couple weeks ago how I wasn't sure if this rumor was true, and I talked about it over on my Instagram and on my Facebook. And the reason why was because if they travel out of the country, in order for Kody to get a new bride that's from another country, Robyn would have to dissolve her marriage with Kody, right? Because whoever Kody would bring into the United States would need a green card, and they would have to do that through a marriage. So would Robyn be willing to give up her legal marriage in order to get married, in order for Kody to take on another wife? She has 2 children with Kody, and so by giving up her legal marriage, she would give up spousal support and child support if she were to divorce him. So that was sort of my question about the truth of all of this, or if it's just like a storyline for the show and they'll do anything for ratings.
Life. Yeah. It sucks, right?
It could just be a storyline for the show. But either way, this podcast, Tender Loving Care, I believe, is a podcast that talks about TLC shows. I literally had never heard of it, so I don't know what the level of their credibility is. Everyone's been talking about the story, and I'll tell you what they told The Sun to give you an idea whether or not you think this is true. My question will be to you as I'm reading this, and I want you to think about while we're talking about it, is this just something that would happen for the show? Is this a storyline for the show? And if this were true, say Kody and Robyn are seeking someone outside of the country, do you really think about this pragmatically, that Robyn would give up her legal marriage so Kody could take a foreign wife? All right, so before we dive into today's topic, can you do me a big favor and give this video a thumbs up? Also, please subscribe to my channel if you've not yet subscribed by clicking on the subscribe button down there. Make sure to leave a comment if you have something to say. And as always, share this video with your friends if you like this kind of content, and they do too. So this podcast came out like a month ago, and I was alerted of it by one of my subscribers about the same week that it was released. When it first came out, I'll tell you what, I was reluctant to believe it, and I'm still hesitant to believe that there's really any seriousness around whether or not he would actually do this, because I have a hard time believing that Robyn, who has 2 young children with Kody, would hand over her legal marriage to Kody and grant it to a new wife.
I would have never chose this. Like I said, if I had the power that everybody thinks I had, this wouldn't be happening.
But maybe she'll do anything for ratings. Who knows? So anyways, The Sun is running this article today, so take this with a grain of salt, but it says that Sister Wives Kody Brown is desperate to find a new wife after he's dumped by a younger woman while filming new season. So I want to just point out that several of his kids have said online that they don't believe that their dad is seeking a new wife, and if he is, it's news to them. Gwendolyn has said this, and I believe Peyton has said this too. So I don't know if this, even if he's doing this, I don't know if he's told anyone. And on the tell-all, Robyn said that Kody was reluctant to take any more wives, and she didn't think he would, and Robyn didn't think it would be fair because of all of the history. If this were to be for anything, it would be to maintain the show. That's just my thought. So according to this, they were looking for a third wife. Okay, and this is because 3 of the other wives have left. So Mary, Christine, and Janelle are all gone. Now, on top of all of this, I just want to remind you that season 18 is currently filming. And in this season 18, we'll likely be seeing Janelle leaving Kody and obviously Mary's departure. So Mary had already been separated from the family. This was just like a formal termination of their marital agreement. And Kody and Janelle announced their separation last season, and she is done with Kody. So this podcast claims that they have multiple production sources. And so I don't know who they would have as a source within production, because I frankly don't know any production sources that have ever leaked any of this information in the past. I've never seen leaks from the show before, so this is new, okay? And it says, they said that Kody is frantic to search for a new spouse and his only legal wife is Robyn, right? So they're actively pursuing a new wife. And it said they had been courting a new wife for about 3 months. And this is from Pauline Blithell from Tender Loving Care podcast with Kate Schindlund. And they said they started filming the courtship around December, but they've been chatting online and via phone calls for about 3 months previous to that. So it's February 7th, and they released this podcast that they talked about this back in January. So I'm not totally sure, again, about the timeline. December would have been after the tell-all aired, so it would have been after Robyn said that Kody didn't want another wife, and after Christine said that she didn't see Kody taking a new wife. But there obviously is a contract obligation that Kody maintained being a polygamous man, I guess. Anyways, they go on to claim that they are actively seeking this woman through dating websites, which they claim they've never done before. And the production source was not able to disclose the name of the woman because it would be a spoiler for the season. She said that they provided details about this. So my question here is, if this production person was able to provide this, why would they provide, this would be a spoiler, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be a spoiler that they traveled down there to the South America? It's so hard for me to understand if this really is true or not. Because why would the production source leak that they filmed us and Kody doesn't want it shown, but then wouldn't give the name of the woman? You know what I'm saying? And it says that she's allegedly very early 20s. And they said Kody and Robyn wanted someone very fresh, very new, that is not involved in the polygamous lifestyle in America. So if they were going to do this, they would theoretically be having to bring someone into their faith. If they're going to go down to South America, Robyn, if they're going to try to bring this woman in, if she's not a natural citizen of the United States, she would need a green card. And the only way she would be able to get a green card is through marriage. So Robyn would have to divorce Kody in order for this to happen. And I have seen 0 records of Robyn filing for divorce from Kody. So I'm just going to put that out there. So they said, so they deliberately wanted to go find somebody abroad. So they deliberately went out of the country to find someone that Robyn would have to divorce Kody for in order to, okay. And that's not part of the FLDS faith. So a huge part of their belief system is that they believe that they have to have all of these celestial marriages in order to get into heaven. So are they just becoming like polygamous swingers now that don't have it connected to a faith? Because wouldn't you think that they would have to have someone that actually is of their faith, or would they be trying to convert someone like they did with Janelle? Just my thoughts here. So it says they deliberately wanted to go find someone abroad, and they alleged that the 3 of them, along with the filming producers, met at a resort in Mexico. So they go to Mexico. So Kody goes to Mexico with Robyn to meet up with this woman. So this is what they said is, after meeting Kody and Robyn and spending time together, the woman felt very uncomfortable and told production that she wanted to go home and didn't want to continue filming. Apparently, my source tells me that this woman wanted 0 to do with Kody and Robyn. This is what Pauline said. She was pretty much wanting to get out of the situation immediately. My source said that she was very uncomfortable with the whole situation, and she said she didn't like their energy. When asked if there was PDA, apparently there was no intimacy, and he's sticking to that, not kissing anyone. And he said Kody apparently feels absolutely humiliated by all of it and doesn't want this to air. He has been pushing for production not to air the filmed footage with the potential new wife. A lot of the focus has been on this woman, which is why it's been such a devastation for him. He really believed that this was going to be his next wife. So this is what they allege happened. A production source contacted them and told them that Kody was courting a new wife, and they meet in Mexico, and the woman doesn't want anything to do with them, right? And then they say that production source says it's someone in their young 20s, early 20s, that they don't like the vibe of Kody and Robyn. They're using a dating website and they're going to South America, but they meet in Mexico. And then they claim the woman doesn't like Kody and she doesn't want to be there and she asks to go home. And then Kody's begging for production to not show this for the season because a lot of their filming has had to do with this woman. Okay, so my question here is that I'm trying to figure out why a production source would reveal this information to someone. And then why would they reveal these details but not give a name, but then reveal these details? Because clearly all of these details would be a spoiler. And the fact that all of this out would be a spoiler for the show. On top of that, if this is true, if it doesn't air, we will never know the truth. So if this were never to air, we could never theoretically know if this is actually a storyline for the show. So unless this actually is on the show and we see this next season, we'll never know if this actually happened. And that's where I'm like, is this true or not? Because if Kody theoretically by the story says, I don't want to film, I don't want you to show this, and production gives into that, if this is true, then we would never see it. And then the bloggers could say, yes, see, I told you he got his way. But then the story, we still wouldn't have proof actually happened. So the only way we will actually know if this is true is if it shows up in the season. And again, I'm a little reluctant to believe it only because Robyn would have to give up her legal marital status, and going to South America with a woman that's likely not to speak English, with not of the faith, would be a lot of work for Kody and Robyn. And even if she were young, fresh meat, it would be highly exploitative for them in the position that they are in, that it wouldn't just look like human trafficking. You know, it's just, there's a lot of ick factors to this that I don't know if it's true or not. And I've been reluctant to report it, but I was like, all right, I want to hear what your side of the story is and if you believe this is true. Right now, I'm like iffy. So they continue to claim that he wants to establish his patriarchal role and polygamous lifestyle because the other wives have left him. She says he wants to carry on and he needs to fill that spot very quickly. And I think he's very much about boosting his ego. His ego has taken a low blow. I really think it probably comes from desperation with Kody because he's in a situation where his entire life has been turned upside down and he's trying to rebuild. He still believes in polygamy. And who knows, by choosing a younger wife, to me, that sounds like he would want more children. And apparently his emotions are running high and his feelings for this girl were very real. And he's in very contentious talks with TLC because of what the fallout was. Part of me wants to actually believe that this is true because I could totally see Kody and Robyn doing this for the show. And I would want to see this as true because I would want to see what Robyn's reaction would be to Kody developing feelings for someone other than her. Because for the better part of their marriage, she's never really had to share him emotionally with anyone else because he's been so enamored with her. And if he were to find someone younger, she would be like the new fresh meat. And if he were to find someone younger, then he would be clearly wanting to have kids with them, which I don't think he wants to have children anymore. But because again, his whole livelihood is like wrapped up in this show, he would be bringing another woman into a situation with other kids. And my question really in all of this is, say that the fallout of this is true. So say after the season is over, season 18, Christine and Janelle and Mary are just like no longer on the show. Say that they like leave and it just becomes Kody and Robyn and the new sister wives. Is that something you even want to watch? Or is that something that you would watch just for the train wreck? Would you watch just because you'd want to see what happens with Robyn? Would you want to see if Robyn would eventually leave? My gut would be like, I will watch the show regardless of what happens for you guys, as long as you guys have an interest in me talking about it. 2, I would be horrified if another woman was brought into the situation and potentially more children, given that Kody has so many kids that he already neglects and doesn't have relationships with, and have been basically like calling him out to the carpet, left, right, and center, basically accusing him of exploitation, neglect, abuse, all kinds of things. And then you're going to add that, you're going to ignore all of that that's going out there, and we're just going to pretend none of that happened, and then we're just going to be like, okay, Kody needs to find a new wife because of his ego. I don't know where Kody stands in his feelings, and I don't know where what Robyn thinks. Like, I do think that Robyn would want to be a polygamist, and I think if Robyn pushed hard enough, I think that she might want to find a new wife. But the idea of her finding them out of the country is the only part that I have a problem with, because again, she would have to give up her marriage. But then again, my other part is like, well, maybe there's truth to this because they would do anything for a storyline. Because then a legal divorce would be an episode, going through the process of a legal divorce, all the drama of the legal divorce. That could be a whole season. Then adding all these new wives and the weddings and the babies. I mean, he could theoretically make this go on for years if it were to work out, right? So in that case, maybe this is true. I'm so conflicted. Do you think he got dumped by a younger wife? And if he did, do you think they'll show it on the air? And if it's not shown on the air, was this ever true to begin with? Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.